going on, everyone? burnttoastchronicles here. This is going to be a direct continuation from my last video, which if you haven't yet seen, I would highly suggest you do, because I'm going to be covering part 3 here, and it'll make a lot more sense if you know what's going on. So one other thing is I just want to apologize for having to use so much Firefight gameplay. This video is Firefight, my last video was Firefight, and 2 videos before that was Firefight. So I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world to watch, but these topics came up so spontaneously that I really didn't have time to go get any other gameplay. To get multiplayer gameplay takes some time, and I just had these Firefight gameplays on hand, and I figured I'll just use what I have. So if you're wondering in between my last video and now why I didn't just go get multiplayer gameplay, that's because if you recall in my last video I had mentioned the possibility of doing Call of Duty in the future, and I really just kind of wanted to be able to gauge people's reactions to that and see if that's something that even would work. And in the time that I had to do that, I had to give it some time for people to be able to watch the video and leave their questions and leave their comments. So if I had to wait for all that to happen before I would even start going to get Call of Duty gameplay, then really it would have just put this whole thing off even longer. So instead, here I am with some Rocketfight, just going to use what I have. But that's enough of an explanation here. So let's just get right into this third topic. Depending on how long, or I shouldn't say how long, but more how actively you have been following my involvement with GOB, also known as Greg, of course Greg being his real name, and GOB is his YouTube name. So, depending on how actively you have been following my involvement with him, you may recall that somewhere along the line I have mentioned doing a project or a series. I can't remember exactly how I referred to it, because I mentioned it in a solo commentary on my channel, and I've also gone over to his channel and done a dual commentary there about the same thing. And I think between the two channels it was referred to a little bit differently, and I think on his channel we went into a little bit more detail about it. Basically all it was going to be was a dual commentary series, and it sounds kind of straightforward, and it's something that I'm sure people have done before, but we had some ideas, and it would have made it, pretty interesting and unique, and we think it would have been something that people really would have enjoyed seeing. Now, if you notice, in everything I just said, I was using past tense. I said things like would and have or had, stuff like that. And the reason for that is because we're not going to be doing this series anymore. Long story short, we had some creative differences between us, and we kind of came to the mutual decision that we figured it would just be best if we didn't do the series. Officially, the term we used between us was an indefinite suspension, and that's exactly what it is. We never really officially said, yes, we're never going to do this, or yes, it has a potential future, because we aren't really sure. My personal opinion on this, to be quite realistic, is it probably never will happen, but like I said, there's still that slight little optimism there where maybe one day it will. Who's to say? So I don't want to say anything about it that's going to really come back to haunt me, so for now that's really where it's going to be left. But it definitely has a deeper impact on my channel than, simply just being a dead series. And what I mean by that is over the past 3 months, I've uploaded, I think, 3 or 4 videos. And that's nowhere near the amount that I should have been uploading. But the reason behind that was because everything that I did YouTube related, whether it was getting gameplay or thinking of a topic or anything like that, anything that I could have used to make a video, I was no longer thinking about how I could have done it for myself as a solo commentator, but how I could have turned it into something for 2 people to do as a dual commentary series. So, of course, having to shift my attention like that so much kind of took away from my own channel. And I do apologize for that, because, obviously if you're subscribed to me, it's because you like my content, and therefore you should be able to see more of it. So, hopefully, obviously, that doesn't have to completely excuse my incredibly slow flow of content, but hopefully it makes a little bit more sense now as to why that wasn't happening. But also related to that is now that I'd put so much work and effort into this series that never came to be, I'm left a little empty-handed, and it is unfortunate because, like I said, so much of my attention has been focused on this series, and a lot of the topics that I would have used, or a lot of interesting topics that would have been used in the series, I don't really feel it's right to go and use those now as a solo commentator because GOB told me that he wouldn't use them on his channel, and I never really explicitly said I won't use them on mine, but I don't think it'd be fair. Of course, I can maybe see if he'd be okay with that, but in the meantime, I would really love to get some subscriber and viewer feedback right now, and just kind of tell me what might be some stuff that you'd be interested in either seeing in terms of gameplay or hearing in terms of topics. Because until I get a yes or no from GOB on using these topics, I'm going to need some ideas. Because, I mean, literally everything that I've been thinking of over the past 3 or 4 months has been thrown into this dual commentary series. And, so, like I said, leave some comments below and just let me know maybe if there's something in particular that really jumps out that you think might be interesting, because I'm definitely open to all sorts of feedback and all sorts of ideas right now. So, really, I guess hopefully up to this point, everything has been making sense. I know we're already about 7 minutes in here, and I just keep going and going, and hopefully it doesn't seem like I'm rambling. To me, this has all been making sense, so hopefully to you, the viewer, it is making just as much sense, and all appears to be coherent. So, but of course, if there's anything that isn't understood that you're a little confused about or anything like that, because I know this can be a little confusing, then, feel free to leave me a comment or send me a message or anything like that, and I will be glad to clear things up for you. But really, I guess you can see why I would have saved this topic for its own video, because, I mean, there's no way that I could have fit this topic into the previous video that was only like 5 or 6 minutes, where I covered my first 2 topics. So this definitely is a very important, very complex thing, and that's why I'm hoping that this video really gets out there and people really see or really hear the things that I'm saying, because this is a huge, huge thing regarding my channel. It really dictates kind of what you're going to be seeing over the next few months. So this video is coming to a close actually in just a few seconds here, but hopefully this all made sense, and you can look forward to my next video being something new and exciting, because I do have an idea for at least one new video. So hopefully you look forward to that, and like I said, please leave me some feedback. I'd appreciate that. But then if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe for more, and I'm just going to let these last few seconds here finish out, so I will talk to you all later.
Enjoy this one while you can.